We're still on the red pill wave, defending the red pill to some degree. I got a amazing clip of Akash's wife before all of this scandal. And there is a great clip at the end of the vid. So lock in. We gonna get to it. Be sure to like the video. No, I'm not red pill as far as content creation, but I am defending the red pill today as far as what it is supposed to be, not what it is.
I used to think that feminist was someone that just hates men, right? And that stuff was fed to me through a bunch of red pill content I was consuming at one point and listening to all these little dumbass podcasts. And I kind of got lost in that, thinking, all right, feminist, she hates me. But as I've learned some things. I ran into this guy who had a quote. I don't know word for word, but he was like, a feminist isn't someone that hates men. It's just someone that wants men to be whole, or they want men to be themselves, like be a whole human.
This is just a crock of shit. And if you watch the red pill documentary and watch the feminists talk, like you'll see that it's a crock of shit.
And then that just flipped the switch for me, because I was already on that path of unlearning things, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, so a feminist doesn't hate men. They just want men to be whole, and they want to be treated as equal, seen as equal to. And if as a man, you can also like be a feminist as well. Learn that too. I'm on learning things, learning some new things. And being whole as a man, as a person in general, just don't deny your humanity, like emotional expression and stuff. Cause that's what patriarchy wants you to do as a man. Like you have to live up to a certain standard, and expressing feelings, expressing emotions makes you less than a man within this political system. So yeah, there's some things I'm unlearning.
So number one, this cat can't be 30 because if that fluffy shit that was told to you moved you, what the fuck? Like, what type of brain do you even have? And that's not me calling him stupid. That's me saying that what about that moved you? Like it did, like that's nonsensical. The second thing, guys like this are undereducated on feminism. It's not necessarily about the feminist, which we'll get to in a moment, but it's about feminism and what it has done, the effects of feminism. People come into this space and it's, oh, feminism hates women. They don't get the education they're supposed to get. And this is where things get fucked up, the content creators, because if we look at something and we're talking about red pill, when we look at red pill ideology, most people don't care about when we talk about the effects of feminism, women being able to vote. That is not something that we are against. That is not something that is harped on. But when you look at someone like Andrew Wilson is constantly debating, should women have the right to vote because men, they're required to be in the draft. Women aren't required to be in the draft. Why should they be able to vote about men putting their body on the line and da 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 da? So you would think that that's red pill because he's on a podcast or whatever podcast. But the thing about him is he's not necessarily red pill. He's talked about it and he said, like, when it comes to the red pill, he likes the what do you call it? The diagnosis, but he doesn't like the prescriptions. And one of the prescriptions will be go and get 50 bodies, right? So when you look at that, some people might get that confused and think that's like red pill, like that's Andrew Wilson. That's not red pill. When we talk about the effects of feminism in the red pill, one of the things that everybody can agree on is sexual liberation. Sexual liberation has opened up generational promiscuity. It has changed the culture as far as women's sexuality is concerned. If you want a virgin, now is the least likely time in American history that you'll be able to find one as an adult. If you want a modest woman, now is the least likely time in history that you'll find one. Because when you look at something like Halloween, you have an abundance of women going out dressing slutty and stuff like that. That wasn't going on in 1952. So sexual liberation has changed a lot. when it comes to women. Now, there are other things when it comes to feminism. First wave, second wave, third wave. Like, he doesn't understand feminism. Because if you understand something like that, hearing, oh, they want to make me whole, that would move you because that doesn't change what I just mentioned. But this third thing, when we talk about feminists, actual feminists, you can watch the Red Pill documentary, you can listen to me, you can listen to a bunch of people. We are not completely 100% against feminism or feminists. There are some aspects where it is necessary, right? And every feminist isn't bad and every feminist doesn't hate man, but this is the issue. When you get to feminist extremists and you get to talking about stuff like mansplaining and all of that type of stuff, right? The vilification and demonization of the male. Feminist extremists are heavily responsible for a lot of that. So just because a woman's a feminist, that doesn't mean that she's a feminist extremist, and that doesn't mean that she hates men, but feminist extremists do. So this right here is a case of a lack of red pill education and possibly some red pill miseducation.
So my husband actually interviewed these red pill guys
This is Akash Singh's wife, by the way, in June.
on their podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the fuck even cares. Um, but it was so funny because he actually called them out on their shit and their like stupid fucking beliefs and how they say that they're helping men when actually what they say is like really detrimental and damaging, especially to young impressionable men
Let's see if she goes over these beliefs.
who are getting their intellectual stimulation more so from podcasts than books, literature, news, or sports. Because he went at them, the red pill guys, like fans, were attacking him afterwards, found pictures of us, and because I'm like objectively attractive, they were saying that we couldn't possibly have got together in a natural kind of way or like in the wild, like it must have been an arranged marriage. Like that's where that whole arranged marriage rumor started, or just like making up all sorts of stuff when it wasn't even true. And I can tell you, like, if you're a young guy listening to this, you don't have to be super tall, you don't have to be tall, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be spending hours at the gym.
The thing is, I hope that's not the detrimental information because women say that stuff too. Women actually validate those beliefs that you got to be tall and you got to be rich. Like they do it in all of their dating social media narratives. So I hope that's not the detrimental information to men that she's talking about.
He wasn't at the peak of his career when we got together at all. He was really like in the early stages. So it just goes to show you that like that narrative is really dangerous. And I don't mean to laugh, but I'm just laughing because like it just like broke their brain trying to understand like someone that they consider pretty or attractive could be with someone that respects women and likes women and like doesn't believe in their beliefs. Like it just like broke their brain.
Yo, this is actually hilarious. This is actually Comedy Central because this is before she did this before all the exposure and stuff like that. So she's trying to paint the picture because these guys are like, oh, she looks so good. She's too good for it. She's trying to paint the picture like she's the prize. Like he won with her and he bagged her when he didn't have nothing and da 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 da. It's funny because she mentioned that he respects women, but she doesn't respect him. This is like really ironic because she really is trying to paint a picture like he won, but he really lost because she doesn't respect him. She actually shits it like she is a gold digger. She disrespects him publicly all the time. She was talking about fucking her friend's husband in front of him, like to his fit, like in front of Aakash. Like four people in a room, two couples, and she's talking about fucking the other guy in front of him on a podcast that's going to be broadcasted to the world. Aakash was on podcast talking about how this chick was a virgin and how he bagged a virgin, right? She gets this podcast and she gets this TikTok and she is talking about all the white cock that she has ingested and had put inside her. It don't stop at white. It's multiracial. It's other races other than Indian. And he was somebody who was like, oh man, you big on dating people from your own race. He was big on that. She's big on cock outside of her race. That's what she's big on. But a few months ago, she really tried to paint a picture like this guy won. And then she showed us months later why he fucking lost. And his career is getting fucked right now. His career is getting fucked raw in the ass, no lube right now. The nigga is going through it. He is going through pain. The motherfucker just did a stand-up show, right? He's working on a special. He did a stand-up show. And the people who left the reviews, they was like, yo, this motherfucker, the first half, he's talking about, the things he's going through with his girl on the internet. And it just fucked up. It wasn't funny. It just fucked up the whole vibe. So we really couldn't get into the comedy show because he fucked up the whole vibe. And he looked real down. So it's like this is really having a real effect on his career as far as us finding out how horrible of a woman he bagged and married. But here she is 6 months later talking about, man, you don't got to be this. You don't got to have money. You don't got to do it. She uses this motherfucker for his money. She uses this motherfucker for his money. You don't got to be 6 foot. You don't like him. You admitted on a podcast that you can't even masturbate to the imagination of your man or to the image of your man. You would never do that. The woman whose man you wanted to fuck, she could masturbate to the idea or thought of her man. You can't do that. And you said you could never do that. You embarrass this man at every fucking turn. Like you embarrass him in so many fucking ways. And you don't like him. But you got on this fucking TikTok and you're trying to paint a picture like he won because he got a pretty girl. And the moral of this story is everything that glitter ain't fucking gold. Just because you could bag a pretty bitch, that don't mean that she fucking like you. And if she don't like you, this is what the fuck it leads to. You being embarrassed and your career taking a huge hit, your mental health getting fucked up, and then her making videos while this whole controversy is going on, like, oh, y'all want us to get divorced, but we don't have a prenup. I didn't sign a prenup. Making jokes like that during this controversy. Nobody wants a woman like you. And that's what you failed to realize. And you actually exposed how bad of a woman you are. We didn't know. You actively went out of your way to expose that. So that's amazing. This is amazing.
So it just goes to show you that you can actually be nice, a gentleman, like do acts of service and buy gifts and do all this stuff for your girl and have like a partnership, really.
She don't really get no bread. All she do is spend his money. He make millions.
With mutual respect, and if he doesn't like something, he pushes back on me, and if I don't like something, of course, you guys know I push back. And like their normal healthy relationships not like that. So I'm really glad that adolescence is like opening this like productive, healthy, constructive discussion, because the statistics are really scary for what young men are experiencing, and I hope that they do get more positive role models that they need, especially in schools and online. And yeah, it's just funny.
It is funny because you're talking down the red pill, but the red pill warns men about women like you. And when it comes to Aakash, he's put down the red pill, but if he was, or he's talked shit about it. But if he actually consumed the content, if he actually got the knowledge, he could have avoided being with a woman like you. And the red pill is what he needs right now. Because that nice, sweet guy, you took advantage of him, you stomped all over him, you're actively shitting on him when you make stuff about, oh, we didn't sign a prenup. you are a horrible person. The chick in the video comments on my other video talking about some, oh man, this don't teach people nothing. Y'all just complaining about women. Da 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 da. Preventative medicine is the name of Rollo's book. It saves men from pain. That is one of the functions of the red pill. It saves men from having the pain of dealing with destructive women like the one on his screen and getting absolutely destroyed.
You guys, I'm not even playing. I just had the lunch from hell. Okay, story time. I'm at lunch. I'm sitting by myself. I'm like eating alone. And I'm at this like Thai restaurant and I'm sat at this like benched table where it's like this long bench and there's like tables. So it's like you're really, really close to your neighbors. No big deal, not a problem. These four boys get sat next to me. I would say they were like mid 20s, like maybe early 30s, whatever. Like just a group of four dudes. The way that these little fuckers were talking about women and just like all the shit that they were saying was so fucking disturbing and alarming. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I made a list so I wouldn't forget. So I just reviewed it. Here are the highlights. Okay, the too long didn't read. Basically, every single woman that was like maybe bigger bodied, whether in the restaurant or like in their lives, whatever, just the most disgusting like adjectives, like calling them fat bitches, fat little fucks, like crazy aggressive ways. Like the waitress that was helping us, my table and their table, was like a bigger bodied woman, but she was beautiful, stunning, and also just a wonderful waitress.
And see, I have to pause here because this is why I am not going to believe her story 100%. Because if she can't just say she looked all right or she looked good, she has to say she is beautiful. That is a word that, beautiful is beautiful. Like that means you are very good looking. You're very good looking, right? And then she throws stunning on top of that, right? You know what stunning is? Like Rihanna to a lot of people is stunning. Scarlett Johansson to a lot of people is stunning. Fucking Megan Fox to a lot of people is stunning. Like jaw dropping makes the room stop. People are like, oh my God. Those are the adjectives she is using to describe a woman that is obese, that she has admitted is obese. So she's bigger. Those are the words that she used. No obese woman is stunning. None. None. When it comes to this, like, anti-fat shaming and everybody's a 10 type shit these women do is disingenuous. So if you were being disingenuous about that, leads me to believe that it's very possible you're being disingenuous about some other things in this video.
And like when she would like walk away, they were like, God damn, like this bitch needs to stop fucking eating so much. Okay, these boys were not panty droppers, okay, by any standard. I'm not here to like shame men, but like conventionally they weren't like attractive, okay? Like they're not like out here walking the streets and like breaking necks, okay? Like they're just regular fucking dudes. And
But the fat woman is breaking necks because she's beautiful and stunning, right?
so that's number one. They were like talking shit about like our bigger body waitress and just like describing all these women in their life as like fat bitches and like, oh, the fat one, like the big ass one, the one that looks disgusting, like just like crazy shit. Okay. Number two, they were talking, one of the guys was like, they're going to some event tonight apparently. And one of the guys was like, oh yeah, like I'm not going to bring my girlfriend because the male to female ratio is going to be off. What? What does that mean, sir? What the fuck does that mean?
This is an example of you fishing to be offended because when it comes down to it, we've heard of what a sausage fest is. So sometimes you want the men to women ratio to be more women than men. If you're going out to a couples event and all of you guys got a girl or whatever, then that's another thing. Y'all go on couples trips or whatever the case. Girls' night does exist, number one. And number two, guys go out together as well. So it's like, why would that be in it? If he says the ratio will be off, how is that something to be offended about? Like, you don't want to bring your girl and she be the only girl at an all guys event. Like, you don't want to do that. Or a thing where your whole group is just guys and you bring one girl. That fucks up the whole dynamic. Y'all wouldn't want y'all do these parties where y'all do the little lingerie and silk robes and shit. As far as black women specifically, they do this shit. Like, and y'all be at somebody's living room or in a hotel room, and y'all don't want no y'all don't want y'all men there. In most cases, women don't want they men there. And guess what? The friends don't want the woman's man there. They want to have a hoey time. They want to have a good whole time. Now, there might be a case where they do have one or two dudes roaming around and stuff like that. But in most cases, when you see one of those parties, there ain't no dudes. They don't want no dudes
He
there.
goes on to elaborate to say, oh yeah, I just don't like bringing my girlfriend around when there's going to be more men than women, except he said male to female, because whatever. I don't like bringing my girlfriend around when there's more males than females, because I don't want these males to be staring at my female like that. I don't like that. I don't fuck with that. What the fuck? What are you taught? Like, sir, what the fuck? Are you well? Ew, that's disgusting. Third.
See, this is fake outrage, and this is how come it's hard for men to take a lot of women's perspectives serious, because they are just absolutely ridiculous, nonsensical, and just over exaggerated and just disingenuous. Like, that's not offensive. There's nothing about that that's offensive. What it does highlight is that the guy is likely a weenie if he is that worried about other guys looking at his girl, and he might cause a confrontation over that shit. But see, you can't articulate stuff like that because you were so invested in being fake outraged.
Thing they did was, like, it was the most insane conversation. Like, there's so much more that they said, but
Yo, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. This video is being made because she's big, and she was offended. She was offended by what she heard. Not everything is offensive.
the third thing that was pretty striking to me was that one of them um was saying to his, sorry, I got distracted. One of the guys was saying to his friends, "Oh yeah, the girl in the office that we know, she's cool or whatever." And the other guy was like, "Oh, she's like hella religious though, right?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, but you know what? I've been reading the Bible lately, so like it's been chill to talk to her. Like she's kind of gross and like ugly and shit or whatever, but like she's been like helping me. Like I'm on a spiritual journey right now." Are you? Because you've just sat here for 40 minutes fucking saying disgusting things about everyone in this restaurant and everyone in your life, and specifically women, okay? But you're on a spiritual journey. Interesting. He then goes on to say, yeah, I'm celibate right now. Like I don't want to share my body with these females because they don't deserve it, okay? They've been taking advantage of the strength of men, and God is telling me that I need to be celibate right now. The way that I literally, like, at this point I'd already given them some like kind of like side eyes, you know. When he said that, I literally go "Wah." I whip my head around so fast. And I mean, we're right next to each other, okay? Like they can see. And I was like, "Oh my," like my face was disgusted and I wasn't hiding it. I looked straight at this little fucker's face and I just go, "Oh my god." And I look down at my phone. He's clearly like not even ashamed because like they.
Did you catch that? If you didn't, I'm going to make you catch it. Before we get to that, the one thing I want to highlight is that he said he was being celibate because women are taking advantage of men's strength and all this. When women are celibate, any excuse, first off, them being celibate, there's no problem with that. Them saying they're celibate because they feel like men are taking advantage of them, nobody anywhere has a problem with that. The only problem I have with it is that they're fucking lying in most cases. I'm not going to say most cases. In a lot of cases, a lot of these chicks be lying. But so it's like, this is not even a real issue. This is not even a real problem. She turns and she has an appalled reaction, right? And if you didn't catch it, this is what you need to catch. She said that he wasn't even ashamed. This is why the red pill is necessary, because when you understand female nature, when you understand Kevin Samuel sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and need to be right, you understand how women operate. She wanted it, what she was trying to do was make that face and have that reaction so that he could stop and be ashamed. This was a shaming tactic. She didn't like what she heard. She didn't plan on rebuttaling it and saying, yo, women are not trying to take advantage of your strength. What are you talking about? She didn't want to engage in any discussion. She default, instinctively went to have an appalled reaction as a shaming tactic. And it didn't work. And she is letting women know he wasn't even ashamed. And listen, so we talk about the red pill doesn't give solutions, and the content creator. This is a solution right here. You, just like sluts, just like a lot of the sluts who be like, oh, let's go on a slut walk, who have reclaimed their, through sexual liberation, they have reclaimed the word slut, and they have no shame. You need to go inside yourself. And if you are ashamed of the beliefs that you have to question, you know, are these beliefs bad? Is there a reason to be ashamed of these beliefs? Is there a reason to be ashamed of the stuff that I'm saying and doing? You got to question that. You got to be real. You got to be real. Don't don't just go with it and say that it's good because, oh yeah, I heard the dumper say it, or I heard this other content creator. Don't do that. What I tell y'all is to be skeptical about everything. Even if it's coming from me, be skeptical. Yeah, shit. You want to know the great thing? I've had people come on here and say, I agree with about 5% of what you say. That's great. That's great. That means I am not brainwashing you, which is not my intention. You have your own brain. You have your own identity. You are not just consuming and just saying everything he is saying is right just because he says it. So go inside yourself and really some of these things, just question it. Like, yo, is this da-da-da-da-da? Should I be ashamed? Like, because this is what happens. You get tested. You get tested. You have somebody when you were saying these things and you were conducting your dog. They'll do that to you. I'll tell you a quick story, and this is very funny. And this is real shit. No, Red Pill wasn't out. Red Pill wasn't like the Matrix was just out for a few years at this point. I'm in high school, right? I'm sitting at a table. I'm used to conducting myself a certain way, right? I'm in high school, so I'm still a kid. I had to learn how to roast and crack because people made fun of me. Like I had to get really good at that. My parents wasn't sending me to school with the best clothes. I just had to become that guy. So being that I'm around guys most of the time, we roast all the time. Even my brother, he's older. These guys are more crazier with the roast than me. They got a whole different level of humor. They got it's more crazy than what I had going on at the time. So roasting is just some default shit. So there was this guy, right? And, he was cool. I'm sure he laughed at a lot of my roasts. Like, we fuck with each other to some degree, right? I had a lack of awareness at this point because, again, I'm a child. I am sitting at a table, and it's me, three girls, and this guy, right? This is not my circle of friends. These are just people. We're in a classroom. We're in school. We chilling. Ain't nothing much going on. It's this girl in the class, right? whatever happened, I made a roast about her fatness, right? The women didn't find it funny. I thought it was hilarious. This is what I expected. I expected a laugh, I expected a chuckle, or I just expected nothing. I got something that I didn't expect. I got, oh man, why would you say that? Why would you? That's mean. All three of the women said that. Now this is like, again, pre-red pill. Yeah, most I consumed was some pickup, but this is like, I had never experienced anything like, I'd never heard anything like this before. So, because I'm used to roasting, I operate through roasting. The class fucking last, and 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I'm roasting a guy. So in front of women, I roast a girl randomly about her fat. They get offended and they're like, "Oh my god, oh man, why would you say that?" This was the killer because that caught me off guard, but at the same time, it kind of made sense. It was like, "Oh yeah, this is new. This is not something I haven't roasted a woman, two women before. That's different." This is what caught me off guard. I look, all the three women are sitting in a row. The guy is at the other end. So he's at the end of the women. So I look across the line, I look to him, and he has a sincere face like, why would you say that? Why would I was like, oh, this nigga's a sellout. I didn't know nothing about none of this red pill shit, bro. I was like, oh, this nigga's a sellout. We roast niggas every day. You laugh. We roast niggas all the time. We roast random niggas. Random niggas roast me. And because all of these, I didn't understand it at the time completely. But this nigga, he just didn't want to jeopardize no coochie points. He made sure he didn't laugh, and he made sure to engage in the shaming. Oh man, why you do that? Why you do that? I was confused. I was confused. Now, that shaming did not stop me from roasting. I kept roasting. If a woman said certain things or they tried to snap at me or whatever, they still got roasted. But it did impact who I roast around. Because if shaming is all you got for me, I'm not about to. So that behavior that they did as far as the shaming, it did happen. But this is the thing. Only women will do that. For a set of guys to do that, and I'm talking about just away from women, like, because he did that because he was right there with the women and he wanted to look good in their eyes like a whole ass nigga. But if guys were to shame a guy for the roast, he has to say something really offensive. He has to say something about a guy that has cancer or somebody that died. It's got to be something crazy. I know I'm dragging this out, but the whole point is that is how they operate by default. That happened to me when I was a child. Women did that to me when I was a child. And that is the default. That is their default mechanism of defense. Shame. So when you understand that, and you understand that they are doing this to manipulate your emotions, you have to become callous to it to some degree, and you have to just say, man, I don't give a fuck about that. I know where it's coming from. And that's only if you are 100% positive that it's something that you shouldn't be ashamed of. Don't do that for the sake of doing that. Do that when you know they're trying to manipulate you. That's what it is. So, the red pill don't offer no solution. You don't offer no solution. What solution? That's a solution. Stop getting fucking manipulated by shaming tactics.
I could tell, right? Like I can see from my peripheral, they're like aware that I like looked at them like that, and they're like kind of like, oh, like kind of giggling or whatever. And I just like, dude, I'm like short circuiting right now. But like, it didn't take them long. Like they had like maybe like a pinch, a little pinch of like shame, like a little bit. And then maybe 3 minutes later, they go on and start talking all kinds of shit. And the way that they like idolize these men, dude, I don't know. There's just so much to like unpack here. But like, moral of the story is that our fucking like men are being red pilled as fuck. Okay, they're being red pilled as fuck. There's this like weird pipeline of like all.
I just have to know she didn't mention anything red pill. She didn't mention any content creators. She didn't mention the mention of red pill. She didn't mention them saying anything as far as, oh yeah, the red pill. Oh yeah, Myron Gay. They didn't mention. She didn't mention anything about that. Anything. Being celibate and reading the Bible is not red pill. Calling women fat is not red pill. So basically, she's seen some guy fucking having a ratio, man to woman ratio is not red pill. You see guys talking about the fatness of women and being celibate and reading the Bible. You don't like it. Truly, you're offended because you were overweight and, hit dogs holler. Like a lot of that shit offended you. That's how come you were so invested in the first place. That was a hook. But yeah, you didn't like what was being said and you have an agenda. So you went back into your car and you just some automatic, oh, these kids so red pill, these guys are so red pill. You don't know that. Why don't you just say that they fat shaming? Why don't you just better identify what's actually going on?
Right religious conservatism that's like creeping in to these like boys, and like it's fucking gross, and like it's fucking creepy. It's fucking creepy. Like I like what is going on? What's going on? Also, I don't live in like a conservative area. I live in like Southern California, but like Long Beach. Long Beach is like diverse. We are.
I just want to know when they get to talking about this conservative shit, that's not everybody here knows. That's not the red pill I'm talking about. And even then, it's like the media and mainstream has diluted what the red pill is so much that people think it's so many other things that it's just fucking not. And it's because of the mayosphere. They just transformed it into some bullshit.
Like there's a lot going on here, so it's like not unusual to find some weirdos and stuff, but like it's not like an ultra conservative area, so it's just like alarming. It's alarming. I'm upset. I don't know, are you guys experiencing this in your towns, in your cities? What the fuck?
I'm gonna keep it real. I thought this and forgot to say it. This probably didn't happen at all. And she probably did this video for engagement. People do shit like this all the time. I seen a motherfucker do a video like telling the story about how a woman paid for a date. And at the end of the story, he cuts an ad like, oh yeah, she told me that she got this app called Pay For You Later. And I'm like, pay for you later. Motherfuckers be doing fake content for fucking engagement to get money. Like, that's it.
Likes you, loves you, appreciates you, values you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't cheat either.
I would hope that you don't cheat.
Yeah, no. What I do.
What?
See, no, what I do is I explore my options
Okay,
because
I'm
I'm a
get
high
it.
value man.
All right, I'm done.
I'm the prize. You should be coming to me. But with you also coming to me, that means that other women are coming to me as well. And it's in the testosterone hormones. So where I gotta explore my options because I'm such a high value man.
He trolling.
I'm in the
What
top.
does like high value mean though?
I'm in the top 99 percentile.
Oh.
Nah.
No?
I was just enlightened.
Oh, you were enlightened. I wonder who.
I was enlightened. Yeah. I realized that I'm a high value man.
At 17.
Yep.
With no funds.
I have a lot of money, actually. I have $1.95 to my name. And a $50 gift card. Stop playing with me.
Okay.
Where you want to go? Benihana's? $50 gift card to Benihana's.
Not even finishing this. This is troll the next vid.
I totally understand when a single man that has been unlucky in love falls down like a red pill pipeline, right? But what's terrifying to me is all the men that I know that have wives and longtime girlfriends, and they have good wives that take care of their children and their home and them. Good girlfriends that cater to them and love them. These men have had good mothers and good sisters, but they still fall down the red pill pipeline, the woman hating pipeline. That you could be in a relationship with a good woman and still just fall down that pipeline is terrifying to me. And a lot of these men, too, they also have daughters. It's crazy.
The easiest thing you could do to discredit the red pill while also injecting some shame in there to deter men from consuming the content is calling it man bashing, the pipeline of woman hating, et cetera, et cetera. That is the easiest way to radicalize it and make it sound very bad. When it's misrepresented in that way, again, the shaming behind it, no man wants to be associated with hating women or women bashing or anything like that. So it puts it, if you say that to a guy that consumes the content, it's automatically going to put them in defense mode, right? Because now they need to justify, wait a minute, this isn't woman bashing, it's this, which even then is what I'm about to do. It also is a bat signal to white knights. You got people like Mike Rashid who be like, oh, the red pill. Like, you done sat down with fucking Fresh and Fit. You done sat down at the end of that fucking table and now you just so against these niggas and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, the black women are the ultimate queens and da-da-da-da. Like, that's what the women bashing or just women hating pipeline shit, that's what that narrative does. It bat signals to the white knights. It also strips it. It strips the whole red pill of any good or validity that it may have. It strips it of everything good and it narrows it down to just pure negativity. Just pure negativity. It's not used for anything like that. So let's talk about, because I say this all the time, what the red pill is supposed to be versus what it actually is. Let's just get through with what it actually is at this point. What it actually is the content creators. When you have Myron Gaines being the Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger of fucking the red pill in mainstream media, and then you have Andrew Tate being the motherfucking Ronald McDonald of the manosphere, right? These are two mascots, two tremendous mascots. Everybody bases their beliefs about this shit around them. Then you get somebody like a No Fugazi who has clips going all around and stuff like that. And people look at these guys like that is the red pill. Because the thing about the people in the general public, they, first off, before we even get to them, these guys are representatives of the red pill because they identify as red pill. They have red pill podcasts. They have big platforms. So they are taking on that mantle themselves. That's number one. Number two, the general public's exposure is going to be very shallow to these individuals. And also, the media is going to paint a picture as well. The media is going to paint a negative picture. So when Myron is kicking chicks out and just dogging black women and then wearing KKK robes and stuff like that, this shit, from a media standpoint, from a creator standpoint, it becomes very undefendable. I just did a video and, the guy was saying all this stuff about the red pill. And when I got around the end, I had to say, some of the things that he's saying, they actually do apply to Fresh and Fit. So when you talk about what it actually is, that's what it is in the eyes of most people. It is the content creators, and even then, people aren't going to fucking So Suave or DonJuan.com. People, like, they got rid of the Red Pill Reddit. So it's like, where else are you going to get the abundance of Red Pill content? Like, where else are you going to get it from? They try to strip it away from all different facets of the internet and etc. Like, so YouTube and Rumble are like the primary places that you could get it, but it's very scarce as far as, the resources out there, just the places where people congregate. So that's the first thing. Like, to find a Discord is some crazy shit. Like, Discords are not just easily Googleable. You got to actually be somewhere to find a Discord and be within a community of people. And those links expire, which is weird. So that's the first thing. And we'll just leave that there as far as what the red pill is. Let's go to what it's supposed to be, the purity of the red pill, which is, when you hear me defending, I'm defending what it's supposed to be. Because what it's supposed to be is important. You understand that? What it's supposed to be is very essential and necessary for men. When you hear some of these content creators speak, they try to do the broad shit, right? And that's how come this shit gets associated with politics and stuff, because they're not going to keep it 1,000 about what it is. They will say the red pill is just the truth. The truth and the truth and the truth. It's the truth and it's the truth. Like, no. What the red pill is surrounded by masculinity, right? It is for men. We start there. What it does is it exposes men to the truth about family dynamics, social dynamics, and sexual dynamics. And when I say sexual, I don't mean bedroom. I mean man to woman relationship, right? Within that sexual part, female nature is highlighted. But it doesn't stop there. Masculinity is also highlighted. So being a man, that is highlighted. So it's not strictly about women, even though everybody would love to think that it's just about women. To some degree, it revolves around men and women. But the red pill is a base of truthful information, typically science or statistic backed, or tons of evidence backing the information. And it's information that men need to know. If we look at some information that is more centered towards a man, information that is centered towards a man would be, you have to be a leader. You have to aspire to be a leader. You have to be capable of being a leader. And even then, what it boils down to is a leader amongst men. Now, everybody cannot be a leader amongst men. But aspiring to be a leader amongst men can only make you a better man. You're going to have to lead your household. There are all types of statistics to talk about how a single father household does better than a single mother household. And we could look at history, and a man is a pillar of the family. A man and a woman are necessary for a family. But biblically, statistically, societally, like, it's all backed that a man needs to be the leader of his household. There is tons of evidence that points to that. This is the other thing. Before he even gets a household, he has to be the leader in the relationship. And this is the thing. I'm sure there are successful relationships where the man is not the leader. So this is not something to where people are speaking in absolutes. These are generalizations. But when you look at women's dating standards, as far as what they say, they want a man better than them. If you look at a lot of women, a lot of them will admit they want a man who can take charge. They don't want to have to plan the date. They don't want to have to plan anything. They want a guy who's going to... All of these things are things that come out of women's mouths. But then when you hear it come out of a red pill person's mouth, right, that a man needs to be the leader, you know, oh, it's misogyny. This is misogyny. Even though women themselves allude to it, they say it, da 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 da. And we won't get into the defiance where women want the benefit of a man and they want a man that's better than them, as far as some of them, but they don't want to respect his authority. They don't want to, oh man, we equal partners. We're equal, even though he brings more to the table than me. We won't get into all of that. But that's something as far as being a leader. That is something that the red pill teaches that you don't necessarily have to come here to get. But it's a necessary masculine principle, right? So when you look at that, is that women bashing? No. No, it's not. Now, even if we pretend that there is some aspect of the red pill that is women bashing, if you write off the whole red pill as women bashing, do you think there's any nuance to where that whole belief system that I mentioned gets validated or it's even looked at? It's just going to get overlooked. It's going to be irrelevant because it's throw the baby out with the bathwater when you say, you know, oh, it's just misogynistic and, you know, they hate women. Da, da, da. But this is what it really comes down to. It comes down to the female nature portion. They hate the female nature portion. If you take a belief like women love attention and validation, right? They crave it. First off, when that is said, it should be understood that that is not an absolute. That is a generalization. That means most. Shouldn't have to put the most in front of it. If somebody doesn't say all, you should be able to have that discernment. But for the people who don't, because that is a constant argument that comes with, oh, you saying all women? No, most. Now debate against most. But when you hear things like that, what is the evidence that substantiates, oh, women love attention? I'm not going to waste your time because we all know, like, y'all know what it is. When you look at social media, there is an abundance of women all around the planet, all in different cultures, even in some of the places that the air quote passport bros want to go. There are women turning around in the mirror, taking pictures of their butt. Men don't do this pose. Why do women do this pose? Because they know the attention they are going to get from that. Why do women go out on Halloween, right, wearing damn near nothing? Because they know the attention they are going to get. We could go back to social media. Why do women's inboxes be jumping, right, after they put up the booty butt pics and they don't respond to nobody? And then they'll even post a screenshot to say, look at all these thirsty guys in my inbox, which is rare, but it happens. Why do those types of women do that? And that's the thing. Before I give that, you want to understand as a guy why specific types of women do specific types of things because women are not a fucking monolith. So one woman will do that, but the majority of women won't. But do you remember the caveat that I said? The majority of women want attention. So when you look at a woman doing that, she is baiting men to get attention on her butt. She knows that they're going to try and pursue her. They try and pursue her. She gets validated from men pursuing her. It makes her feel like she is wanted. She then takes the screenshots of these guys trying to have a conversation with her because she posted something that enticed them. And then she publicly shames them and says, look at these thirsty niggas. None of them could ever touch this. None of them could ever get with me. So what you have to understand is there are bad women. That doesn't mean all women are bad. But even then, the thing that we're looking at, there are degrees to this. Women could do more innocent things for attention, and they're not really exploitative of men or exploitive, however you say the word. They're not exploiting men with them trying to get attention at that small little level. But it goes very deep. A perfect example is you getting with a woman like this, right? And she wants to go out and wear the thong with nothing else when y'all go to this festival. You don't want her doing that. The reason you don't want her doing that, red pill philosophy, but it's not just red pill. This is like social science, psychology, all this shit, right? Men value fidelity. Men value exclusivity. That is how come they have their women cover up in Muslim countries. Men don't want to share their women's body with the world. But when it comes to Western women and the feminist conditioning, they have become very hedonistic when it comes to this validation. We could get into all the, risks when it comes to women being with a man and dressing very revealing and him having a problem with it and them going, we could get into all of that. But the whole point is she's doing that and she's fighting for her right to do that because she wants the attention and validation that she is going to get for wearing that in public. Now ask yourself, what part of that is women bashing? What part of that is women bashing? None of it is women bashing, as far as the stuff that I said. And when women get to saying this stuff and talk about women bashing, one of the previous videos that we watched, calling women fat bitches and saying fat, that's not red pill. Saying I'm celibate and I'm reading about, that's not red pill. Saying my waitress, that's not red pill. Saying your waitress is fat. The things that I said are actually the red pill. What it does is it gives men an awareness. And this awareness of these things helps men in different ways. It helps them improve. It helps them better themselves. It helps them have better relationships. Another red pill principle is that you don't want to get with somebody that is attracted to you for the wrong reasons. If they are attracted to you for your money and you decide to have a long-term relationship with them, they don't really like you. You are the provider. You are not the lover. And we could go down a whole list of things like, so when you look at information like this, is that women bashing? Is that women bashing? The answer is no. Let's cut the bullshit. The answer is no. But what it does is it exposes information that gives men some degree of understanding and power. Women do not like that. Women do not like that. They want you to be asleep. They want you to have no idea what is going on while Shira 7, Steve Harvey, and everybody else is releasing books on how to manipulate men. And men, because they want pussy, they don't give no pushback to nothing. They want to and even then, that's like being manipulative. That is actually immoral. So women openly engage in immoral shit and nobody says anything. But when you look at the stuff that I mentioned, it's not immoral. It's not manipulative. It's not. But what it is it's what I mentioned. They don't want you to be empowered by the information. And they absolutely do not like that it highlights factually unflattering things about women. So they're going to use any means to deter you from it. In another video, a woman was flat out lying, saying that, oh, men fucking, they, the red pill men, they want women to stay in abusive relationships and marriages. They want them to work through abusive relationships. That's a lie. So they will even go as far as lying to make a point. Instead of attacking the point head on, disproving it and stuff like that. No, they will go and misrepresent the point completely and say that, yeah, that's what they do over there. So I just need you to understand that. I need you to understand that. The easiest thing for them to do is to write it off as women bashing, write it off as the man hating women pipeline, invalidate all the information, shame you for consuming it, and deter you. Like, that is the easiest thing for them to do instead of addressing the points head on and admitting that there is anything valid about it or anything helpful about it. I'll catch y'all. I almost ended this, but I got one last thing to say. Just forget about if it's even women bashing. Ask yourself a better question. Are the beliefs that I said false? Is there evidence, strong enough evidence, that goes against some of the red pill talking points? Because man bashing and stuff like that, that's subjective. What you need to ask, because that's what the red pill is about, it's the truth. Is this factual? Is it subjective? Is it plausible? That is the more important set of questions when it comes to the information.